Each patrol that we went on, I ran probably about 25 patrols, and each patrol was like a brand new little war. It had a beginning and an end. And all that I would focus on, all my thoughts were on surviving, that's all. I didn't care. No more glory, no more pride, no more honor for a country, none of that stuff. All I wanted to do was go home. So I blocked out everything. I didn't think about my family, I didn't think about anything other than I'm gonna get home. And when I get home, I'm never gonna do this again. You turn into almost like a machine. And you hate it, it feels horrible, but I was always, because I guess I was young and stupid, I was always sure I'm gonna survive, I'm gonna get through it. I know I can do it. It's not gonna be easy, but I never really thought I was going to die. Even though we were in a lot of hairy situations, I always thought, I'm gonna get out of this, I'm gonna live through it. So I just kept focusing on that. Then when I did get shot up, it was difficult. But fortunately, I got to the medevac station, they got me to another hospital and then back to the States and took care of it. It was serious enough to discharge me from the service, but not enough to kill me, so.
My father sent my sisters to a safer place. But my father, my mother, and I, we stay at home because we were afraid that of looters, people are going to loot our house. So we stay there. During that period of time, I felt really close to my parents, and I felt very close to my sisters too. We used to fight all the time, but I guess in a situation like that, other things seems a lot more trivial, and we got along fine. So those were some of the good memories that came out. But there were also a lot of bad, I guess. My father became very scared, so he started to try to see that let my family to leave one by one. He sent us out one by one. He was the last one to leave, but unfortunately, by the time he was leaving, Vietnam fell. And so he never make it. He did not leave. We got letters from him, after Vietnam fell on April 30th, 1975. And we got letters a month later that he said he tried to escape through the sea, by putting himself in a boat 2 times, and 2 times he fell. So the last letter we got from him, he said, no, he's going to try to walk through Cambodia to go to Thailand. And that was the last letter.
When I got a medal, I was in the hospital and they arranged for a general to come by to give me a medal. And I didn't tell my father. And my father was very disappointed that he couldn't be there. I didn't want the medal. I refused to put on my uniform. I went down in my pajamas. I wanted them to be angry at me. I wanted them to be pissed off. And so when they told me I'd go down and get the medal, put on your uniform, I just went down in my pajamas. I stood there. I couldn't pretend anymore. And so I did want it to be glorious, and I did want to have good feelings about it, but I wasn't going to pretend that it was that way, because I knew in my heart it wasn't, and what we did wasn't good.
High school was pretty tough, because I was the only kid that's non-white. they had another Puerto Rican kid, but that was about it. You know, everybody else were white. I find difficult to relate to the people. I find it hard, you know, to get adjusted. After I finished high school, I went to Boston, and I started going to college in Boston. It was still difficult. You know, I tried to become American at that time. You know, I tried to do everything that what other kids were doing, and I was dating American girls, you know. But eventually, I think when I came to a point, eventually I realized I can never be an American.
When I first went back to university, one of the first classes that I went to, the discussion got around to Vietnam. And I said I was a soldier there. And I couldn't answer the questions from the other students. I couldn't defend what I had done in Vietnam, what I had participated in. So I learned very quickly, shut up. I can't explain to them how I feel or why I did it. The best thing is, don't talk about it. So I never told anybody after that I was a Vietnam veteran, because I knew I can't explain it to them. I can't answer their question. And so I quickly learned to keep it inside. It was wrong to do, but that's the only way I could survive, was to not tell anybody I was a Vietnam veteran. I worked at some places for years, and people never knew. I never told them. They were very surprised. There was a story in my local newspaper after I came back the first time. And they said, wow, we didn't know you were a veteran.
I was very cautious, you know, through experience. I learned not to tell people that I came from Vietnam, because you never know. You may bump into some crazy people, and then they start to accuse you of killing their brother in Vietnam, and they start, you know, to threaten you. So for a long time, I didn't tell people that I came from Vietnam. So when people ask me where I came from, I said I came from Hong Kong. Because I went to Hong Kong first, and I came to the United States. So I came from Hong Kong. Try not to bring the topic of Vietnam up. For I guess for almost 10 years, I didn't say that. It was not the feeling. You know, I understood how a Jew might feel in Germany, that you have to hide your identity. And it was not the feeling. Eventually, that when I was able to tell people that I come from Vietnam, and people accept it, you know, that was a big relief to me. You know, it felt like some burden lift off my shoulder. It was a big relief.